Hello and welcome back to my channel. It has been a minute since I've uploaded a video, but it is now summer vacation from school and from dance and everything, so I am going to dive right back in and commit myself to uploading much more. Today I want to do a low-cost luxury video where I show you one or more items that I picked up from either TJ Maxx or Marshalls. And today I'm doing kind of a head-to-head with the Becca palettes that have been showing up at both TJ Maxx and Marshalls. And first one is the Becca and CHRISSY Teigen Glow Face Palette. And I got this from TJ Maxx for $16.99. And the other that just recently came out is the Becca Apres Ski Glow Face Palette. So, and I got this for $19.99. Original price on the CHRISSY Teigen was $40, and it's actually on sale on both Becca and Sephora for $23, and so $16.99 is quite a significant savings from even the sale price. And then the Apres Ski was originally $54, and now it was $19.99. So I thought both were a good deal. Both of these palettes are currently still available at TJ Maxx and Marshalls. More limited supply of the CHRISSY Teigen, but this one is the most recent to come out, and so I wanted to do a quick review to see which one I liked better, kind of a summer versus winter, ice and fire sort of theme, and I just want to get into it, show you swatches, and which one I prefer for my everyday. So first I'll go into CHRISSY Teigen. So in the palette, it does have a little instruction card and then a sample of the First Light priming filter. I used that today, and I also used my Becca Ever Matte Shine Proof Foundation, which I picked up from TJ Maxx, of course. So really pretty packaging with the peach kind of marble look on the front, and when you open this up it comes with 4 different colors, and the colors on here are the Malibu Soleil, the Beach Nectar, Rose Gold, and then Hibiscus Bloom. So when I go into each of these, first is the Rose Gold. I have Hibiscus Bloom, Malibu Soleil, and then Beach Nectar. So you can see those 3 colors. And on the box it says that these are new shades. I will now show you swatches for the Apres Ski, and I will swatch it on the other arm. So this palette comes with 6 colors, and when you open it up you see the 6 pans. So in here you have Rose Quartz, Icicle, Winterberry, Blushed Copper, Opal, and Bronze Bondi. So I have Rose Quartz, Icicle, and then Winterberry, Brushed Copper, Opal, and then Bronze Bondi. So when you take a look at my arms, you can see kind of a side-by-side. It looks like Rose Quartz is similar, but a little more pink than the 2 highlighters in the CHRISSY palette. And then the Winterberry and Hibiscus Bloom look similar. I'm going to do those as a side-by-side and see how similar they are. So on this hand I've got the Hibiscus Bloom. And then right next to it, I will put the Winter Berry. So you can see how similar they are. Looks like Winter Berry is a little more matte and a little more powdery, whereas the Hibiscus Bloom has a little bit of a sheen to it. Just looking at them, they do look very similar. And then so to look at the highlighters, I want to see how those compare. Rose Gold and Rose Quartz, I want to see how those look side by side. I've got Rose Gold and then Rose Quartz. So those are very different. Very deep in the CHRISSY Teigen palette, and then the Rose Quartz is much more pinky. So Opal actually looks very similar to me to the Rose Gold and the Beach Nectar highlighters. So I'm gonna do a side by side with those. So first I will dip into the CHRISSY Teigen Rose Gold and Beach Nectar. Rose Gold and then Beach Nectar. And then finally on top, I'm going to put Opal. So these actually, when you get them side by side, are not that similar. You can see much more of a deep, almost blush shade down here. Then the Beach Nectar is much more peachy gold. And then Opal has that golden shine to it. So there are the comparisons of the two blushes and the highlighters. And finally, I will do the side by side for the bronzers. So with the bronzers, I've got Malibu Soleil right here on top. Bronze Bondi just below. These look almost the same even in person. Maybe the lower one from the Apres Ski is a little bit deeper, but from a side by side they look almost like the same color. I'm going to try all of these out now on my face, see if there's any difference in how they apply, and then give my final thoughts on what I think of each palette and if I recommend or do not recommend them. On this side, we'll go with the Apres Ski. This side will be the CHRISSY Teigen. So I go in with my bronzing brush just to give myself a little bit of color. I'm going to go into CHRISSY Teigen's palette and dip into the Malibu Soleil and just give myself a little bit of color. And then in the Apres Ski, the Bronze Bondi on the other side. So just to kind of warm up my face from having just foundation, I'm going to try to contour a bit with each shade. Like I said, these two swatch so similarly, and applying to the face, they are also very, very similar. For my blush, I'll go in with the Hibiscus Bloom. It's a nice just wash of color right on the cheek. And then on the other side, I have the Winter Berry. And it is much more powdery. As I'm dipping into the palette, there is quite a bit of fallout and powder that kind of picks up when I dip in. Okay. So just from these initial impressions, I do like the CHRISSY Teigen palette a little bit more with the hibiscus bloom color, and the way it applied, it has a little bit more of a sheen and not as powdery, whereas the winterberry did kick up quite a bit and I think applied a little more splotchy as I was trying to blend it out. Finally, I am going to try out the highlighters, and from CHRISSY Teigen's I'm going to go into Beach Nectar and apply it right on top of my cheek and extend a little bit onto my eyebrow. So I hope it's picking up there, but a very pretty peachy flush of color. Whew, that is sparkling. I think I will go in with the rose quartz on this side to see how pinky it picks up. And it is very pink. When the powder catches the light, I can see quite a bit of that pink sheen that is on my cheek. Not too bad. I think for my eyebrow, I am going to apply the Icicle shade right underneath my brow bone. Okay, so that is blue. Very blue when it catches the light. Not quite what I was going for. I might be buffing this out a little bit. But it does give a pretty strong purple or blue cast when it catches the light. So I'm going to even it out a little bit. So that one side does not look completely purple while the other one is totally plain. So now after applying them to my face, I do have an opinion on each. I think I do like the CHRISSY Teigen palette more. Even though there's only the 4 shades, I feel that they are more universally flattering. The Apres Ski palette was just a little too powdery when I was dipping my brush into it, and just personally, I know I won't really use this brushed copper shade very much as a bronzer or contour shade. It's too sparkly for me personally. And then the Icicle, I think it's nice in theory, but for actual application, it's not something I would wear regularly because of the really strong bluish purple cast that it gives on the skin when it picks up the light. So my vote is, as far as a palette that I will use more often and that is more value for my dollar, it is definitely this CHRISSY Teigen palette. The Apres Ski is very beautiful, and if you want more of those like different colors, or you like a sparkly bronzer, this might be for you. But just personally, it's not for me. CHRISSY Teigen's palette is more universally flattering for me, and something that I will grab over the Apres Ski. So that is my opinion. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video, getting some of these side-by-side swatches, so that if you are trying to decide between the CHRISSY Teigen palette or the Apres Ski, you are better informed as to how the blushes look next to each other, how the bronzers look next to each other, and the highlights as far as all of the different colors that are included in the palette. So again, thank you for watching, and until next time, happy hunting.